Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot Readings here on the Black and Orange channel. I was just talking, I was fine. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'm here 365 days of the year to take your political questions out of the chat and check in with the collective energy to see how things are looking. We've got some big news today. Matter of fact, there's one big story that is on Twitter that the major news outlets haven't picked up on yet. And so it's like, well, it must be made up. But going to NASDAQ, the NASDAQ website, it's right there. It's right there. And we're going to be starting in with that first today. McConnell, Ted, did you have anything to do with this, perhaps? Anyway, I am here every day to take 12 of your questions out of the chat. Anything in the chat in all caps is how you communicate with me. Other than that, please just type normally, because people have whole conversations and they're really supportive of each other, kind to each other, for which I'm very grateful. We have a great community because of you. And we have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. Thank you. And Kristen from Uncover the News, bringing us the headline fire every day. It's great. Thank you. All right. Thank you. It's actually not the Yellow Rose of Texas. It's actually the yellowest flower of yellow Ukraine I could find. I couldn't get the leaves more blue though, but I was trying. But anyway, here we are. All right. Oh, thank you. And the nails are just got a whole thing going. All right. Oh, Jolie, thank you. Is thanking me for having. Jolie says thanks for having Andre on yesterday. Thank you to Andre. That man is just so good, and I just so enjoyed that. And I know I went back and rewatched part of it, and I know some of it was kind of, if you're not already steeped in astrology, some of it was probably just. But thank you for your patience and what have you. He's coming back a week from next Tuesday, so on the 15th he's coming back, and we are going to have Wheezy Squeeze box. Sunflowers, the national flower of Ukraine. Yes, but I've had sunflowers on multiple times in the last week, and I thought I would choose a different flower. So we've been doing the sunflowers. I might have another sunflower overlay I could do, but I thought roses might be a nice change. Same thing. The intent of being supportive is still the same. So, but back to this. A week from Tuesday, Andre's going to be back, and we are going to be doing a specifically, I'm entitling a week from Tuesday, the 15th, I'm entitling it Chart of the US and the Markers of Upheaval. So, because we talked afterward and we realized there were a number of topics we could go over, and one's going to be the US chart specifically, and how different things have happened that indicate things like, the Civil War, World War II, all of these kinds of things. So it will be a week from Tuesday. Kay Rubio says, Andre is so good. Over my head, but I learned something new too. That makes me, that's about how I do. There's some things he says, I'm just like, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, I didn't know that. So. Paula Stahl says, and the yellow rose stands for friendship. I like that. All right, so at 5 minutes in, is it possible this is going to be a you heard it here first? Am I semi-breaking news? Or is this just not a thing? Well, so, if yellow is also anti-racist, I'm in. So anyway, this is this breaking? Is this a new thing? So one of the largest shareholders in Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, right, is the Teachers Union of Kentucky. In fact, Kentucky-based entities make up the top 3. And mainstream media isn't reporting on it. And it would be like, well, it's on Twitter. Mainstream media hasn't picked up on it. Maybe it's just maybe it's really a nothing. There's nothing there. It's just, or maybe it's made up, is what my first thought was. Come on. If the media isn't talking about that, it must not be true. But there's a link. There's a link in the description box. And it's the link right there. It goes to NASDAQ, the official NASDAQ website. And it says, right, it's right there. You can see it yourself. I can't remember if it makes up the 3 of the top or the top 3, but Kentucky-based entities make up the top 3 shareholders in Russia's largest bank. So my question is this going to blow up as a scandal or for Rand Paul and McConnell, or will it just fizzle out? Yeah, they don't call him MoscowMitch for nothing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But let's see. The teachers union, the Kentucky Teachers Union, and 3 Kentucky entities are the top shareholders of the largest Russian bank. That's what? Am I missing something where it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense? Is there some reasonable explanation that I haven't picked up on? Fruits of labor? No kidding. Four of Pentacles. Temperance. Page of Swords. Empress. Sword of Truth. What this looks like to me is this is the tip of the iceberg. This is my card for the Mar-a-Lago. It can be the Trump's face of power, but Trump's face of power can also be Russian money. But this whole Republicans working with Russian money, temperance, it's been very quiet. And this is it coming from the grassroots, the truth coming out. But it's small. The truth coming out, but this is the common person. This isn't wielding the sword of truth. This is just a page. This is just so. What will happen? Sorry. Elizabeth M. says, I wonder if my own pension fund is compromised. Well, have a look. This is rather infuriating. So is this going to be a scandal? Is this going to be a thing? Or is this just going to disappear into the ether with so many other of these kinds of stories? Ace of Cups. Well, that's someone lifting it up. Okay. Deborah Murphy says McConnell sold Kentucky to Russia. Yeah. I actually believe that as much as he could. Oh, we're back here again. Mar-a-Lago card. It's a merchant card, 9 of Cups. Justice is right in the middle. Hanged Man. 5 is insult to injury. I think, hello, Justice. Making major suspensions, looking at not only corruption, but insult. It's McConnell, his cronies. It's also companies in Kentucky who needed funding. Big old Justice right in the middle. All right, Mitch. Let's have a little reading on Mitchy. 12:30. Mitchy. Selling Kentucky to Russia. Will he be found criminally involved? Let's do that. So, Mitchy. Did you sell one of our states to Russia and everything that wasn't nailed down? Because it looks like you did. You tried. Oh, will the media cover this? Well, there's I got 2 different cards of it rising up into consciousness and being like pointed out, like, hey, and then I got Justice right in the middle, and there wouldn't be a case like this in the courts without the media going, Mitchy, oh, there you are. He really wanted Trump back in. There's stuff that happened. They really did act like they were never going to be out of power, or that they couldn't be out of power long enough for the stuff they were doing to come to blow back against them. Mitch McConnell. Going to be having some legal issues, campaign finance violation, or underhanded agreements, or, well, that's what should happen. That's a Tower card. Two of Wands, communications lovers. That would be the Trump cult, who everybody was getting Russian money. Wheel of Fortune, yeah, worried about what they were doing. Suddenly they're not getting away with it, or there are things coming to light. Nine of Pentacles, sitting pretty. Strength. Oh, nothing. Well, it doesn't look like anything would happen quickly. Elizabeth M. said, would this Kentucky angle collusion have been discovered without the Putin invasion? Could it be a silver lining? It could. It's not, but there are communications that according to the cards, according to the energy, there are communications that could change things. But it's going to take time. Well, could something like this blow up in the news and affect the midterms? This feels like it is a scandal. I don't think it's just me or us, because I imagine you're feeling the same way I am. That's aggressive law enforcement. I think there's something here. There's something here. Third reading in a row. We're starting with the Four of Wands. Then we have the Ten of Wands. Oh, you mean that's all the stuff that you did? It's kind of a burden, you think? World. It's coming to an end because the world is turning against the Russian banks. There are people who will not let this go. They're not necessarily the biggest players, but there's some people who are not going to let this go, and there's going to be a lot of really lame excuses. But this feels like there's a powder keg underneath it, like down here somewhere, just out of sight. It feels like there's a powder keg, and there's a fuse, and it's been lit. But it's a long fuse. Okay. Specifically, who was it? I want to give you guys credit where I can. Who was it was asking will the major media pick up on this? Like, will it? I don't know where it was. Jeanette Carpenter says there's another reader who said MoscowMitch will leave the Senate in shame. 1930. Will MoscowMitch leave the Senate in shame? Oh, look. People, money is not worth it. selling out your country, selling out your principles, selling out your state, selling out the people you are supposed to be representing. Really? What exactly is money buying you that's worth that? I don't know. Maybe I was just raised better. My parents and I don't talk about politics because they're right wing, but none of us would just sell out our country. So Mitchy can leave the Senate in shame. DLC says, I asked my pendulum about the Congress, what's going to happen. I get many people will be in trouble. Revolution Rick, yeah, I agree. You can't take it when you cross over to the great beyond. This is the Four of Swords. It's often silence or legal silence or something comes to become silent, but this actually feels like out of options. Like you can't appeal anything else. You can't. Three of Pentacles is the Hierophant. So institutions, governments. Page of Cups, Strength. There's something here. I'm not getting what I'm getting from Mitch McConnell right now is at least they think they're fine. They are fine or they think they're fine. In the center, though, I have this Page of Cups. I keep getting this card as the Democrats who they see as being so weak. Wussy little Democrats who don't have a spine, who don't really go after anybody. But this is right in the middle, and this is the underestimated underestimated Democrats who are going after things, who are starting to hold people accountable. This is not actually a wussy card. Not in these readings, not recently. But this is the Republican plans for the government. This is them being all happy. Could be a crack in the wall they've built right in the middle. Rancor among these far right people. Hemmed in, Eight of Swords, Three of Cups. People around Trump, people in the right being hemmed in, being held accountable, and us in the middle being quite pleased that something's finally happening. So I don't know that it's this that's going to cause any problems for Mitch, at least not for a long time. But there's a lot of other energy. There's a lot of other stuff moving, I should say. The energy that's moving right now is about other stuff Republicans have done. So that's the best I'm getting now. But Chat Wadsworth is asking, how many people in the teachers union knew this was happening? Good question. Okay. 25. Helen had a question. Very good question. Helen Hubbensock Bitterly, I believe. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. Was asking, what the heck was Lindsey Graham thinking when he sent out a tweet calling for Russian citizens to assassinate Putin? The question you asked was, will he face any legal recourse? I wouldn't think so. But that's very firmly free speech. But Mr. Flip-Flop, Mr. Rancid Mint Julep Flip-Flop, let's have a look at that. So, Lindsey. Hey, Lindsey. How's it going? He's hustling. He is hustling. He's juggling a whole bunch of stuff, trying to make a lot of different people happy. People who might donate to him, but also, like, his schedule is just full. And he's trying to suck up to anybody and everybody. He's also trying to keep him busy so he doesn't worry. I'm glad I made you laugh, Alexandra. No, seriously, it makes my day when I can make you guys laugh. I have a silly joke I told last night I can share with you in a little while. Oh, yeah. Mr. I golf with Trump, blah, 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 blah. Suddenly, oh, yeah, you're the big fighter against Putin. Right. Oh, the far-right messenger. Six of Pentacles. I'm getting kind of a put up or shut up. Don't tell me that you're so gung-ho to get rid of Putin after everything that's happened. Suddenly this about face. Knight of Cups. Now, these people are fighting to get to the truth, and they are Democrats. King of Cups. Lindsey, sit down. Biden's got this. We've got this. Sit down. Queen of Swords. Oh, yeah, we've got this. He can, this little wussy message over here, trying to give just a little bit to try to calm some of the Republicans who are just very, very anti-Trump. They're actually more moderate, but they don't like Russia. They don't like Putin. So he's trying to give a little something there, but these are so small. They're just pathetic posturing. Oh, pay attention to me over here. And meanwhile, you've got Biden, you've got the military, you've got the Congress behind him. They've got this. You sit down. Lindsey Graham, please. I have no idea if Lindsey Graham served in the military. I did not think so, but I don't think so, but I do not know. I just do not know. Be Kind says, I tried earlier today to get into Putin's energy and to send some sort of enlightenment, but was met with a strong wall. I felt physically pushed backwards. It was strange. I felt he has shielded himself. Thank you, Kevin. Lindsey was an attorney in the military, Louise Cherry says. Ah, okay. He served in the Air Force. Well, excellent. I didn't know that. Yeah, this is a whole lot of sit down, Lindsay. All right, I'm just going to go on to the next question. All right, at 30:30. Oh, I don't have a name for this one who asked this question, unfortunately. But someone is asking, as we pray for Zelensky's good luck to hold, how is he coping right now? Oh no, this was from Kristen. There's a news headline underneath it. Duh. Ukraine's president has survived at least 3 precision assassination attempts by elite hit squads in a week. I'm sending down as much positive energy as I can into Zelensky's energy field as I'm trying to read on him. I mean, in general, when I read on someone, what it feels like to me is that I'm energetically just like reaching out, just like walking into their energy field, or just reaching out into their energy field. And I try not to make a mess. I try not to leave a mess when I do that. And in many cases, I try to actually leave it better than when I got there. Diane B is asking, is Finland joining NATO today? And I saw that earlier. The person to ask would be Google. Now, I think that might be a Google question. But let me know, please. Zelensky. He's scared. He's terrified, actually, but he's not given up. Being brave doesn't mean you don't feel scared. You feel scared. King of Pentacles. He doesn't, having worked in entertainment may have actually done him some good, because if you're trying to get a lot of recording done, a lot of moving parts moving, you can't have a micromanager. So his experience of managing and dealing with managers is someone who doesn't micromanage, but who definitely keeps an eye on everything and makes sure the trains run on time, because they have to. And it feels like that's doing him good here, because the amount of stuff that's coming into the country between Russia, which they're trying to fight, and the West trying to give supplies and all of this, and people trying to flee into neighboring countries, and on and on. But he's definitely in charge. But the good news is he's not so far over his head that he's trying to micromanage. He's putting some good people in positions to make decisions, and that matters. Queen of Wands, 9 of mercenaries, lovely. King of okay, Queen of Wands, 9 of Cups, King of Cups, Devil. 7 of Swords, which is a thief card. Oh, I assumed this because this is a card of mercenaries, but actually it's right next to the King of Cups, and this is the West. So these might be merchants from the West, but this is Russian forces coming in. the the country's being invaded. There's nothing much more evil than that. Theft, trying to steal from his country. All of this is about juggling, organizing, do this, do that, send out this message, go do, someone's handing him a sandwich as he's walking down the hallway, and I'm not getting him looking at himself right now. How is he? I don't think he's got time. I don't think he's focused at all on himself, to be honest. If he did, he'd just be terrified. And so why do that? There's so many people who need to be saved. So, less. Yeah, stealing his country, exactly, net. All right, six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Five of Cups. The West isn't helping as much as he wishes they would. They won't give him a no-fly zone over his country. They won't get boots on the ground. They're a real disappointment. At the same time, it's a larger version of let's put it this way. The micro version of this would be Democrats hold the Senate because Manchin and Sinema call themselves Democrats. Do they act like Democrats? Do they vote like Democrats? So are we happy about it? We have Schumer's majority leader because they're calling themselves Democrats. We have leadership of all the committees because they call themselves Democrats. Well, the larger life-threatening, massive war zone version of that is the West is disappointing, but at the same time, it feels like Ukraine would have already fallen if the West had not stepped in to help so much. But let me tell you, they may have fallen more quickly, but they may have fallen by now, but they wouldn't be giving up. There will be a resistance, and it will be epic. Yeah. So. Diane B, I don't know if that's true or not, but please don't put stuff like that in the chat. I try to keep things as G-rated as I can. So, quite the mental image. Okay. 39. I want to try to get through as many of the questions I've already got before I take any more, if I have time to take any more. Sorry. But I'm here tomorrow. Put your questions into the chat between like 11:30 and 12 in all caps, and it's kind of first come first serve. I did try to rearrange things to stay on certain topics, stay in that energy for a while, and then move on to something else. But so. So Kyle Smith was asking, Russia attacked a Ukrainian nuclear plant. Yes, they did. The largest nuclear power plant in Europe. And I'm surprised. Only once this morning on Twitter did I see someone who used that GIF of John Travolta in Broken Arrow saying, "Please do not shoot at the nuclear device." Only one. I was very disappointed. Anyway, So Russia attacked a Ukrainian nuclear plant, which is also, I believe, isn't supplying like a quarter of electricity to the country, which many leaders consider to be a war crime. Yeah, don't do that. How many war crimes must Putin commit before the UN and or NATO stop him once and for all? The Hill had the articles in the description box. Kristen brought the link. Thank you. U.S. Embassy says Russian attack on Ukraine nuclear plant is a war crime. How many war crimes does Putin have to commit before the West says, okay, that's it? Elizabeth M. says, I read 20% of the electric power. Okay. Could be. He did a good job on Dancing with the Stars. From what I've seen, pretty impressive. I couldn't do it. War crimes. Reading on war crimes. Queen of Cups. That would be the West. War crimes. 5 of Swords, insult to injury. 7 of Cups. 3 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles. Magician. A lot of information getting out. It feels like if there is somebody who stands up, it's like way down the line. And it's like they go to they prove that Russia was planning this attack, and I don't think there's going to be something where it's like, okay, you're insane, and we are going to kick you out of Ukraine. Putin. Eight of Pentacles. Well, there's certainly, it does feel like the sanctions are hurting Putin. They're hurting his support. They're hurting, yeah. Moon. I was just thinking, did you guys see the video Andre from Astrology Alert put out the other day talking to Lena Rodriguez, the great Lena Rodriguez? I am an intrepid viewer. And I know many of you are too. Apparently, see, I didn't know the story, or if I did, I'd forgotten. Apparently, Putin was in East Germany when the wall fell. I remember that. I remember watching on TV. It was in 1989. I was staying with a British family at that time. My parents had come back to the States, but I hadn't finished my A-levels yet, so I was staying with a British family in The Hague. And the husband of the family that I was living with, he actually taught English at the German school in in The Hague. And he said that the day after the wall fell, there were so many people, because I was going to the British school, and everybody I was talking to, they were very excited about it, and I was very excited about it, and it was a great thing. And he came home from school the next day, and I said, how were the German kids? Were they excited about this? He said, they're in shock. He said it was the whole day, the entire school was just nearly silent. It was such a shock to them. I'll never forget that. But when the wall fell, apparently Putin was in East Germany, and as soon as it started coming down, he apparently just grabbed all the paperwork he could find, and he went to an incinerator, and he was just apparently just trying to burn all the paperwork he could lay his hands on, because he was KGB, and just throwing, burning everything he possibly could. And but by the time he was done, it was too late to escape. So apparently he I don't know the details, but he basically talked to the people outside and told them to save his own life. He was afraid he was going to get, pulled apart. And he told them, you are surrounded by snipers. You need to disperse right now. Just up there, just absolute. And he was bluffing, but it worked. And he got out of there with his life. And apparently since then, he's had this absolute fear of mobs, of protests, big groups of people like that. And so apparently at his original, I think it was his original coronation, it's really what it was, when he took office in Russia, there was like no people lining the street. He wanted none of that. So he's not a big fan of groups, but so when I picked up this card, it's like the chaos. He's very, very afraid of the chaos. Aggressive law enforcement. A lot of worry. A lot of people are worried. A lot of mothers are worried. Yeah. He's like he may be ill, and Putin may be ill. He may be. I don't know. The thing that I just try to point out is that you don't have to be physically ill to be mentally ill. And this guy was 3 sandwiches short of a picnic in the first place. Or more like 3 razor blades short of a shaving set. But he's unraveling. He really is. But it doesn't necessarily mean, he's unraveling and that's going to be the end. Not necessarily. He has absolute control. I mean, he's Tsar Vladimir. So, all right. Jeez. Okay, so I've got Okay, so I've got some more Russia-Ukraine questions here, and then I've got some politics, more or domestic politics, but something silly. We're just gonna relax for a second. We're gonna breathe. Yes, thank you for the. Oh, they're donuts. Oh man, Pamela Bryant brought donuts. Oh, thank you for the coffee. Cookies, popcorn, cake, wine, martinis. I can't tell what that one thing is. That a pina colada? There's beer, milk. Oh, creme brulee, or I would just say flan. Chocolate bars. Pamela Bryant bringing all the emoji foods. Anyway, so let's relax for just a second. Stretch. Okay. Let me tell you, yesterday, my poor father, he's been having some trouble with his computer. And I had already helped him where it was acting up and what have you. And I had gone in and I had updated everything. And I did all this stuff and it was working again. And then he said his mouse wasn't working. Or it was only working some of the time. And I said, you replace the battery. And he said, yeah, I have, but I know my parents, and sometimes they keep batteries a really long time. And so I came and got one of mine, which I know was pretty fresh, and gave him that, and he put it in the mouse, and he's like, hey, it's working again. Great. Okay. But yesterday, my poor father, I didn't know this, was spending the whole day fighting because his mouse had just stopped working, period. Zero, nothing. He couldn't get anything, and he was just so frustrated all day. And he finally went to the store after dinner, and he got a new like mouse keyboard set, and he brought it back, and he was fighting that. He had asked me if he could borrow my mouse to see if maybe mine would work if he plugged it in, and of course and the dongle and all this kind of stuff. So, and I say, this thing that plugs in so your mouse works. Yeah. All right. There. So finally he's like, can you please help me? I don't know what else to do. And at this point it's like 8 o'clock at night. So I go downstairs. I'm working on it. And at this point, there are like multiple dongles plugged into his computer, and he has the new mouse. He's got my mouse. He's got his old mouse. He's got nothing's working. And I just looked down and I said, "Look, Dad, 3 blind mice." And at least I got him to laugh. So, and it turned out, bless, we've all done things. We've all done things that. Bless, he had accidentally hit, he had actually turned on airplane mode. So nothing Bluetooth was working. So I showed him where it was. I said, this button here, don't hit that. But he's happy now. It's silly, but why not? All right. Yeah, he changed his settings. I know it's not exactly a rip-roaring joke, but I was quite pleased with myself, and it's pleasant. Yep, airplane mode. Yep. Okay. Yes, Cindy Lou, the dreaded airplane mode. Exactly. Okay, we'll do a couple more of these, and then I'll show you a cute, very cute photo of Bailey, something that happened this morning. So let's go back into the ratings. "55 minutes in. Lindsay's idea Maria Luchesse said, could Putin be in danger of being harmed by his inner circle? Well, I'll just put inner circle. Apparently, Putin's security forces have huge sway with him and have huge power of their own. This is not like our Secret Service. And they're pretty much the only people he's seen in person in forever. So, Katie Arbuckle says, I don't want to miss Mock. Here we go. Put your deep waders back on, because could Putin be in danger from his inner circle? You'd have to get near him. I mean, technically you wouldn't have to, but yeah, the crazy long table and the whole, he's paranoid. Insult to injury, 5 of swords. Page of swords. Death. Knight of Pentacles. Star. 2 of Wands. Could they try? Are people trying? Probably. And they'll keep trying, but they may not be in a position to actually various plots of various strengths. It's based on a hope to save Russia, to stop his far right communication, his far right kind of what he's doing. Will anyone succeed? A2 at Pute. So, Putin, are you going to live by the authoritarian rule, die by the authoritarian betrayal? Normally, I don't like reading on people's deaths, but it's Vladimir Putin who's invading a country right now. And one of our senators is calling for his own people to kill him. And he's just sent a minimum of 3 hit squads against the president of another country. So, yeah, I'm feeling this is okay. 7 of Cups. Poison? Radiation? Would be poetic justice. Queen of Cups. Temperance. 6 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands. 10 of Wands. They're trying. There are all kinds of people trying to do him in right now. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you when you're a murderous dictator. They just there are murder attempts coming against Putin like you would throw roses on the stage of after a good performance. And then there are some people who just come up behind and they just scoop it all up, clean it away, make space for more. That's what it feels like. They're just but he is so isolated. He is so isolated. You would have to, I don't know, destroy the Kremlin. I mean, I don't know, but you'd have. And you have to remember, he has spent decades thinking of ways to do people in. So he's thought of all the different ways, all the weaknesses. Roxanne is asking, what if these are code statements for Putin to proceed with the next move? From who? I don't quite understand. I'm sorry. Linda Johnson says, it makes my heart so sad to see no one can go into Ukraine and help them. United Nations is nothing but talk. Ukrainians have fought alone. But I know if they don't get help at all, Ukraine will fall. Thank you, Nanita. Revolution Ricky says, someone close to him, someone he would trust. Helen says he has extremely loyal, well-paid thug killers protecting him. Yeah. Disappointments. Temperance. Trying secret stuff, but they can't. I'm not getting it. There are a lot of people trying to kill him, but nobody can get to him. That's what I'm getting. All right, 102.45. Where are we? 102.45. Galland was asking, when Putin is finally cornered. Is it Sydney? When Putin is finally cornered, will he take Trump and the GOP down with him by releasing all of his compromising information he's been collecting? I wouldn't think so, because what good would that do him? Thank you, Rice Hamilton. Thank you. Hello, Sharon. Wendy Burt is saying Poland will be next if he isn't stopped. I think that's the worry right there. So Putin, are you going to release compromat or whatever or whatever negative on Trump or the GOP? If anything, this would probably be the good time to do it. It's like, okay, you guys aren't helping me. You're speaking out against me. Therefore, I'm going to drive a stake through the heart, a knife through the heart of American democracy. Here's all this compromise, all this stuff. Deba Cal says he's scorching the earth and killing everyone. I can't deal. Yeah. Six of Cups. Saturday afternoon at the Garden Center. We're just going about our lives. Thank you, DLC. Thank you. All right, Chariot. 8 of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. Death card. Devil card. Ooh. This is what he's doing in Ukraine. This is his invasion of Ukraine. This is... Republicans are starting to suddenly turn on him. Even Tucker Carlson is suddenly like, what? Huh? I didn't say anything bad about Putin. I don't know what you're talking about. Please. They're turning on him. After all the money he's given them, all the money the oligarchs have given them. Death and devil. I wonder if he's getting annoyed that suddenly he doesn't have backing here. Thank you, Marby. Thank you. Ooh, boy. I got 3 major arcana here. And I've got some very rich, spoiled Republicans who better be careful. So does Putin decide, you know what? Maybe I'll just release a little, or release some on this, or on that, or on the other, or on... Remember, he is isolated, and he wasn't a nice person in the first place. He wasn't a good person. He wasn't a decent person. He's... Wow. Putin, you gonna share a little info? Share a lot of info and show how deep the corruption goes? Because that would be very upsetting in our country. Insult to injury. Hanged Man. 8 of Wands. King of Swords. King of Wands. Hierophant. I'm not getting a release. I'm getting them sitting. They're not, well, I'm not getting a release of information. At least not now. Yeah, Jen Glenn, Putin has decades worth of dirt on Trump. Now that would be a hot cup of tea to spill. Do you guys remember the video for Tom Petty's Don't Come Around Here No More? The Alice in Wonderland thing, and where she's in the huge, like a small pool, which is a teacup. That would be that teacup. That would be that. Blackmail, Revolution Ricky. Oh, shit. Okay. Blackmail. Four. That's a card of refusal. Knight of Swords. 2 of Pentacles. Temperance. Oh, cut off all the money to Russia, from Russia to the GOP. All of it. Boom. Not a farthing. That's what I want to know about. Okay, hang on. Let me look. What else I got down here? Because I have a question. Where are we? I have a question. 111. What effect will Russian sanctions have on Republicans going forward? Republicans on Republican elections. What effect will Russian sanctions have on Republican elections? What effect? You know, if these sanctions go on for a couple of years, Trump's not going to be able to get money from anywhere with those loans coming due. The emperor, the money jar. I've got a mental image of Putin as a piggy bank. You know, I've shown you my bear. Home is where the bear is. Technically, it's a piggy bank. King of Pentacles. Republicans with that sweet, sweet money. World. End of chapter. Also world events affecting the situation. That is true, Helen. More pig than bank, though. Agreed. Judgment. 9 of Swords. 4 of Swords. Oh, the scrambling. Oh, Republicans trying so hard to gerrymander, to stop people from voting. Just who was it? What was I reading? Russian had given millions to the super PACs or whatever to help McConnell and Gaetz and maybe Lindsey Graham. I'm not sure, but it was a chunk of money. And with all of this, suddenly we go from, haha, look at me, I have all this money, to suddenly, we better scramble to stop people from voting or we are in big trouble. Also, it becomes less interesting, less attractive, I should say. It becomes less attractive to become one of these high-level politicians. Because these high-level politicians, how many of them live on public servant money? How many of them end up being multi-millionaires? Yeah. wait, there's a comment here. Don Gubb was saying, then the prevailing winds take any radiation to Russia. My understanding is it takes it to Europe, the way it did for Chernobyl. But please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Ten of Cups. Oh, that looks good for Democrats. Queen of Pentacles. Back to Four of Swords. Republicans. This is silence. This is people not voting. This is during red meat. Trying to be a bully, trying to go out and vote. And it's just, there just aren't enough votes. Whereas I've got the leftover. See, right now it just seems nearly impossible that Democrats could win the midterms. I mean, anyone who's anyone is saying, there's no way that the Democrats will keep hold of Congress after the midterms. But all the cards say, all the energy says, the other readers I know, we're all picking up that Democrats are going to win. Big, not huge, not like overwhelming, but are going to win. Anyway. All right, 117.30. 117.30. Dragon Lady had a question. Why are we, as humanity in general, just sitting back and watching Russia invade Ukraine? Why aren't we doing anything? Well, my limited understanding is that we're basically trying to avoid World War III. And as much as we want Ukraine to be well and exist and be free, as much suffering as there is going on there, the world leaders are very afraid of this becoming awful for Ukraine, not getting better for Ukraine, and in fact getting really getting that bad for hundreds upon hundreds of millions of people. But I'm a Star Trek fan. Federation wouldn't be happy about this. And Jean-Luc Picard in there with this feels like a headband with little tassels. Going to negotiate. All right, 8 of Cups. Two of Swords. Temperance. 3 of Cups. King of Swords. 7 of Swords. Okay, getting a couple of things here. Outwardly, we're trying to keep as much calm as we can because we do not want this to escalate. However, we're definitely helping. And in fact, not only does this feel like it feels like one of the kind of cartoons, whether you'd have a caricature of like there's people standing on the map, it's like a drawn map, but it's like characters standing there, and it feels like a whole like armies right there, and they're all like leaning forward from the west, like let us in, okay, come on, can we go, we want to help, but it's just like this massive energy, it's like hanging right there. It's like, just let us in. Say the word. We're ready. And so that's right there. But we are, I think if things were looked at extremely carefully, there might be a little help, more direct help going on that, oh, I don't know anything about that. Matter of fact, there was talk for a while about in World War One, possibly World War II as well, but certainly World War One, there were pilots who went to Europe from the States. In World War, it was quite a while before we got involved in World War One, and even World War II. We were not like, oh, there's a war, let's jump right in. No. So, but what they did was they came into Europe to fight for freedom, and they just said, I'm just here. I'm not here by anybody's. No, I don't have any flags. I don't have any, if you got some extra planes that happen to have your flag on it, I'm retired. And there were cases where apparently some active military people, their bosses were like, oh, why don't you retire? And the pilots were like, oh yeah, it's time for me to retire and see the world a little. And then strangely enough, when all that ended, they just kind of came back and it was, oh, you're back from retirement. We're so glad. So I think there's that's what's going on. But should we do more? I wish we could without this thing escalating. Sanctions are biting deep, though. Also, thank you, Justin's mom. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, yes, Orange Swan. Ukraine has invited civilians from any country to come fight alongside. And they are. So. Okay. All right, so 1:23:30, we are going on to flying without a broom's question. 1:23:30. Will Russia stand a chance of becoming free and democratic as a consequence of this insane invasion? Knight of Wands. Okay. Corruption. 5 of Cups. So Devil, 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, Queen of Swords. People are fed up. Russians are fed up. Obviously, it's not all of them. Matter of fact, there was an article I saw this morning. A young woman in Ukraine, a Russian woman in Ukraine, is literally calling her mother, talking about the bombs that are falling on her city. And her mother is saying, that's not happening. Because she totally believes what they're saying on the news. So her own daughter calling her, bombs falling in the city. No, that's not happening. But this is disappointment. This is terrible healthcare. This is sickness. This is the economic, just being economically crushed. It's the military. It's the security forces. It's the police. But you'll notice there were like 3 cards of how angry the people are, and there was 1 card of what's stopping them. Thank you guys for your great comments. Insult to, no, that's the thief card. That's not the insult to injury. That's the 7 of swords. It's a thief card. Wheel of Fortune, 7 of Pentacles. Page of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 9 of... Things are changing. The pressure is building up. It's the cracks in amongst the Putin supporters, the oligarchs, the people with the money. That's... I don't think it's the people who will necessarily weaken, really put the first major cracks in Putin's regime. Oligarchs. 9 of Wands, 2, economic, bad economics. It is a time of change. It is a time of change in Russia. We're going to revisit this. I'm getting a sense of, give it a few days, look at this again. I'm getting. All right. 128. I like this idea, Beverly. 128. Beverly is saying, asked, will sanctioned Russian properties collectively be used to rebuild Ukraine, including Crimea? Or will it line the pockets of other corrupt entities and nations? Which I wish I could say, oh, no, that couldn't possibly happen. Yeah. All right. And I've been there. I've seen some people asking on social media, okay, all this stuff is being confiscated and what's being done with it? All the goodies. Four of Swords, confiscated, no longer yours, no way to appeal it, done, finished. Okay. And 8 of Swords, King of Pentacles, Fool, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. It's going to vary by country, is what it feels like. But part of the countries being willing to go after the sanctions, the sanctioned, the stuff potentially it helps the coffers of their own country. It's income for, it's like when the tax people repossess things. But it feels very much like it's gonna vary by country. Will there be some corruption? Of course there will. But it just feels like it's relatively straightforward. I'm actually more concerned here because while we're closing in, taking so much away from these oligarchs, there's an awful lot of money going into cryptocurrencies and things like that. And while I understand with the value of the dollar being what it is, being a fiat currency, cryptocurrency is a really good way for really bad people to do a lot of really bad things. And while we're over here saying, oh no, we shouldn't do crypto because it's bad for the environment, these people could not care less about your environment. Could not care less. That's my concern. But big time of change. Do I have time for any more? Okay, 1:32. Let me see what else I can get in here. Marcia Hostetler was asking, will there be blowback for DeSantis for berating the child wearing the mask at school? 32. Yes, please. What the heck is wrong with this guy? Is it like it's some kind of personal affront to him when people wear masks and you yell at a kid? DeSantis, scum sucking bottom dweller. DeSantis. Oh, far right king. Hanged man. 7 of swords, 2 of swords, 2 of pentacles, 5 of swords. That was a really stupid decision. This is, yeah, he's got some bee in his, he's got some kind of burr under his saddle. Something about the suspension of mask mandates. And somehow it's stealing from him. And it isn't, oh, you shouldn't have to, mask mandates shouldn't be enforced. It's like they shouldn't exist. And anytime there does, it's taking something away from him. Have I missed something here? Insult to injury. He'll lose some donations, but I don't know that they're big donor donations. Thank you, Hen Moss. Thank you. I don't think this is going to be. He's done so many awful things. It's like, oh, there's a list. Man, I can't deal with him today. I'm sure I'll be reading on him again soon. I cannot deal with that man today. All right, 135. I love this. I love this question. Have you guys seen Roger Stone? Roger Stone may have just taken is basically his his hubris. He may have just taken down all of the January 6th highest players because he agreed to be filmed for another documentary. I've got to share this one piece with you. I've got to. This is wow. I was doing screen captures to show Sarah because I was just like, and then I'll show you the cute pictures of Bailey from this morning. Okay, so the article is in the Washington Post. Exclusive, the Roger Stone tapes. Okay. So he had a nice documentary crew following him around. As a mob ransacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021, Roger Stone hurried to pack a suitcase inside his elegant suite on the 5th floor of the Willard Hotel. He wrapped his tailored suits in trash bags, reversed his black face mask so its Free Roger Stone logo was hidden, then slipped out of town for a hastily arranged private flight from Dulles International Airport. I really want to get out of here, Stone told an aide as they were filmed at the hotel by a Danish camera crew for a documentary on him. Stone said he feared prosecution by the incoming Attorney General Merrick Garland. He is not a friend, Stone said. Stone allowed the filmmakers to document his activities during extended periods over more than 2 years. They also captured fly-on-the-wall footage of his actions, candid off-camera conversations from a microphone he wore, and views of his iPhone screen as he messaged associates on an encrypted app. Yes, let's use an encrypted app, but have a camera crew. The footage, along with other reporting by the Washington Post, provides the most comprehensive account to date of Stone's involvement with the former president's efforts to overturn the election. He has refused to give testimony and evidence to the House committee. However, there's this one part I did a screen capture. Let me go back to the screen capture because there was one thing I had to from the article. Are you ready for this? Like, sit down. After he left Washington, Stone lobbied for Trump to enact the Stone Plan, a blanket presidential pardon to shield himself, Trump's allies in Congress, and the America First movement from prosecution for trying to overturn the election, according to the footage and additional documents reviewed by the Post. But the plan, along with a bid by Stone to win pardons for other Trump backers, including convicted mobsters, was ultimately thwarted by White House counsel Pat Cipollone. Stone said in several conversations that were filmed. Quote, clearly, Cipollone blanked everyone, Stone told Stephen Brown, a friend then in federal prison in Oregon for fraud conviction, during a call on January 19th. Cipollone was aware of Stone's request for pardons and opposed them, according to a person familiar with the situation. See you in prison, Stone wrote that evening in a message to another Trump associate. In an Inauguration Day call with a friend, Stone directed his rage at the man who had confided in him and consulted him for decades, denouncing Trump as a disgrace and expressing support for him to be impeached. He betrayed everybody, Stone said. So, Exactly, Marie Hansen. Henson, I'm so sorry. Marie Henson. Wow, handed up on a silver platter. Yes. So, Roger Stone, did you just hand the keys to the January 6th committee, DOJ, anybody else, Eric Swalwell, because his ego knows no bounds. Two of Cups. See, Torino saying footage was all that he approved, nothing more. I don't know what you mean. Please let me know. Two of Cups. Oh, yeah. Let's have a documentary done about me. Let's partner. Let's partnership on this. Three of Cups. Strength. Page of Pentacles. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Knight of Cups. Yes, this is a big deal. He's not, the amount of money he's going to get from this documentary is nothing compared to what it's going to cost for lawyers and for everybody else. This is pathetic. And this little guy, he feels rather on the defensive. Well, what? What do you mean? Of course, I was making money. I was having another documentary done. The first one did so well. What? This feels like the filmmakers. This feels like all the extra footage, and these are Democratic Knights taking the evidence, going forward. It's all laid out. It's all there. Merry Christmas. Will this have an effect? Will this have like a holy cats effect? Six of Pentacles. Five of Wands. Oh, there's that knight, that Democratic knight again, collecting more evidence. Oh, it's reinforcing a whole bunch of stuff. They already have a lot of information, and this is just, is what this feels like. It is such a dumb thing to do, Dragon Lady. I agree. Lecter Storm is asking, how does this connect with Matt Gaetz? Oh, we'll have to look at that tomorrow. Boy, I do want to, it's 2 or 3, but I do want to just, Rhonda Cox has been asking for a couple of days now, so I want to make sure at 144, at least pull a few cards on this. Because your questions are important to me. It takes me a while to get around to answering all of them. Rhonda Cox was asking, how does the Stepford Justice feel about the new SCOTUS nominee? Is there a reason why she would feel differently from anyone else? Just wondering. Oh, that woman. It's like she's got these blinders, these tight blinders on, and she only sees what's right there. She feels brainwashed. She feels wow. Well, that's how we feel about it. We're quite pleased. This would be lovely because the Supreme Court should reflect the country. Tower. World. She doesn't think about it much. This is a new person starting out. liberal leaning person starting out. She's up in biblical apocalypse upon us end days. Yeah, this is cloud cuckoo land, and she lives there. There's wow. I realize that reality can be subjective, but it's not this subjective. Really, it's not. So this it doesn't. This is brainwashing. This is drinking the Kool-Aid. This is and the new Supreme Court justice is nothing compared to her relationship to her religion and to her God, and it's overwhelming. Yeah, she's freaky, and not in a nice way. I like eccentrics. I like people who are living their best life because they're going to go collect the weird thing, or they're going to go create the art, or they're going to go, I love that. But this is, but anyway. All right, it's 2:07. That's going to do it for me for today. Thank you for being here. My goodness. Deep breath. We're going to get through this. Oh, yes. Very quickly. Wait. Okay. Sorry. For anybody who's still hanging out, I'd show you what happened this morning with Boo Boo. Two things. First, I was I don't move around a lot when I sleep. So when I wake up, I will often sit up. I'll kind of cross my legs, cross my legs, and then I'll lean forward on my elbows to try to stretch my back out, right? Well, the little robo vacuum started going. So I'm there, and I'm flipping through the news, and suddenly, Boo Boo. And then he started to calm down. And then he was happy. So I got up and I went into the bathroom, and I was getting ready and all this kind of stuff. And there's a thing that we often do where I turn the water on in the bathroom, and either of the cats can jump up and drink from the tap if they want. Well, but I've told you guys before that Bailey, he can jump far distances, do all kind of stuff when he's attacking his brother. But when it comes to jumping from the floor up onto the ledge where the sink is and the counter, it's too high. I can't possibly. All right, so we started this thing where I walk in there, I just lower myself down, and he uses my lap. He jumps on my lap and then uses that to jump up. It's something he does, but it's also, it gets me doing, a strengthening exercise for my legs. I go down, he does that. I have to push myself up with my legs. It's good for me. Okay, fine. Robo vacuum is still running around. So he's in there and he's crying and what have you. So I go in, I turn around, I lower myself down. He gets on my lap. And he laid down. This is nice. I like this. So there I am. And he's all comfy. Really? Nut. But I love him. I love them both. He's all just happy. All right. Yes, if I fits, I sits. Yes. Whole new level. Anyway, thank you guys. Hang in there. Sweetie pie. Yes, Nini, he is a sweetie pie. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be right back here tomorrow. It's 2:10 here. In less than 2 hours, I'll be over on Book Art Media to do the creative sprints. You're always welcome. And yeah, we'll get through this. Don't forget, it's very important, there are good days ahead. All right? Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you soon.